Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we wrap this one up. Final score here tonight, Diamondbacks 3 and the Padres 1. We'll recap this game from start to finish in a moment. We'll hear from Craig Stammen coming up in just a little bit. Before I get to that, and we talk about what was a disappointing night for the Padres, specifically on the offensive side, I'll give you a little bit of personal disappointment tonight. You know, I sit up in the press box. Sometimes I'm in a booth. Sometimes I'm in the general media writers area, depending on the night during the game. And, well, I always dream of getting a foul ball that's catchable for me. And wouldn't you know it, top of the ninth inning, I get one right at me, just a step to my right. Plenty of room to maneuver, plenty of room to make the play. I move to my right. I reach out. Hits me right in the hands. Drops to the floor. Didn't catch it. Did give it away as a souvenir to the fans, of course, but did not catch it. So, to be honest with you, everybody, it was kind of a rough night all the way around. I finally had the opportunity, and I missed it. Let's recap this game from start to finish.
Which moments determine the outcome of today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game highlights on the Padres Radio Network.
All right, to the ball game here tonight. Diamondbacks threatened against Griffin Canning in the first inning. They put runners on first and third, but Canning did a good job. He got out of it in the top of the first. After Canning put together a 1-2-3 frame in the top of the second, Diamondback starter Merrill Kelly took the mound in the bottom of the second. It was Manny Machado who led off.
Merrill Kelly delivers. Machado swings at the first pitch, sends it in the air to deep right. Corbin Carroll back at the wall, leaps up, gonna go! Manny Machado off the top of the right field wall, bouncing into the seats. A leadoff homer in the bottom of the second inning. His 19th of the year. And the Padres take a 1-0 lead.
Manny continuing to swing a good bat. The solo home run, little Apo Taco for Manny the other way, and it was a 1-0 Padre lead. Padres led 1-0 for a bit. Griffin Canning put together 3 scoreless innings against the Diamondbacks to begin the night. In the top of the fourth, Corbin Carroll hit what appeared to be a leadoff double, but he just popped off the bag on the throw to second. Xander Bogaerts kept the tag applied. Padres would challenge. Carroll was called out at second base on the challenge. Couple of batters later, Max Kepler singled. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. singled to send Kepler to third base. So Arizona had runners on first and third, 2 men away. Then this happened.
First pitch, and way up and away. It goes over his head to the backstop. Kepler will come in to score, and a wild pitch ties this game 1-1.
Yeah, unfortunate for Griffin Canning. Wild pitch, and the run comes in. We were still tied at 1-1. Going to the top of the fifth inning, Tommy Troy hit a leadoff single for Arizona. He was on second base with 2 men away later in the inning for Geraldo Perdomo.
2-1, and Perdomo hits it on the ground up the middle. That's into center, and a base hit. Troy rounding third on his way, and he will score. Go-ahead RBI single for Geraldo Perdomo. And for the first time tonight, the Diamondbacks lead. It's 2-1.
Canning was done after 4 2/3 innings. Yuki Matsui finished the inning. Matsui back on the mound in the sixth. The Padres down 2-1. He got the first 2 outs, but then it was Nolan Arenado.
1-2, the pitch. Arenado swings, hits it in the air, deep to left center field. Sheets going back. He will turn to watch. This one gonna go. Arenado at it again. His second home run of this series. A 2-out solo shot in the sixth inning, and the Diamondbacks have added on. It's 3-1.
And we talked about it pregame, right? Nolan Arenado, he loves playing at Petco Park. He's loved playing against the Padres for a long time with the way he plays here, and he hurts the Padres again. His second home run of the series made it a 3-1 Arizona lead. From that point on, the story was totally Merrill Kelly tonight, the D-back right-hander, with higher than a 5.5 ERA coming in. You wouldn't know it. He went 7 innings. The only run he allowed was on the Machado home run. He allowed a single to Tatis, a single to Manny later in the game, That was it. All the hits for the Padres tonight, not just against Merrill Kelly, but against the Diamondback bullpen as well, because Kevin Ginkel put together a 1-2-3 bottom half of the 8th inning with the Padres trailing 3-1. He got Campusano and Duhar in Song, and then it was Paul Sewald who came in, the Arizona closer, in the bottom half of the 9th inning. He retired. Tatis, Merrill, and Bogarts 1-2-3. And that was that here tonight. Very, very quiet offensive showing from the Padres as they fall by a final score of 3-1. Final totals here tonight for the D-backs. 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Padres. 1 run, 3 hits, and no errors. The Padres and Diamondbacks leave this series at records of 46 and 47. The winning pitcher in this game tonight, well-deserved for Merrill Kelly. He was great. Went 7 strong innings. He improves to 7-8. Griffin Canning takes the loss. He drops to 1-7. And the save goes to Paul Sewald, his 21st save of the season. And the Padres, in the process, based on what else happened in the National League today, the Padres have dropped to 5.5 games out of a playoff spot in the National League, out of the wild card race. So the Padres continue to build themselves, or I should say dig themselves, a little bit of a hole here. 5.5 games with a number of teams between them and the final wild card spot in the National League. So tough night for the Padres, opportunity to win this series. They do split against Arizona, and now again they welcome in the Blue Jays for a 3-game series to wrap up the first half pre-All-Star break portion of the schedule tomorrow here at Petco Park. We'll talk more about that game and that series coming up later. When we come back, we'll hear from Padres manager Craig Stammen. Again, the final score here tonight, Diamondbacks 3 and the Padres 1 on the Padres Radio Network. Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we wrap this one up. Final score here tonight, Diamondbacks 3 and the Padres 1. We'll head downstairs here from Craig Stammen in just a little bit. We have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, our daily awards coming your way. If you want to get a phone call in, 833-288-0973, phone number to call. As always, 833-288-0973. The phone number is the Padres and D-backs split this 4-game set. The D-backs bookending the series with wins. Padres won the middle 2. Really nice opportunity for the Padres against Merrill Kelly to pick up a series win here tonight. But unfortunately, the story of the game, like we've been saying, no doubt the lack of offense tonight from the Padres. 1 run on 3 hits. Manny provided the only run with the solo home run in the second. I mean, look at it this way. The Padres had the final 14 batters of the game retired in a row going back to the 5th inning, and they actually had the final 15 outs of the game recorded in a row because the 5th inning started with Campusano walking, then Andujar grounded into a double play, then a strikeout. So it was 14 batters in a row retired to end the game, and really 15 outs recorded in a row to end the game. So not what you want. And I think no doubt a disappointing night for the Padre offense, considering what they did last night. I mean, that was one of the better offensive games they've had all year last night. 10 runs on 13 hits. The way they passed the baton, kept the line moving. And here tonight, it was just the opposite against a veteran right-hander and a guy who has had a really good career in Merrill Kelly. Well, let's be honest, he came in with almost a 6 ERA, and you certainly were hoping this was somebody the Padres could handle, do some damage against. And, you know, I said it a little bit earlier, put it this way, if somebody would have told me before tonight's game that the Padres would give up 3, I would say, yeah, I think they're going to win the game, because I think this offense will get enough tonight, more than 3 against Merrill Kelly and this D-back bullpen. But unfortunately, again, tonight, so 1 run on 3 hits. Other than the Manny home run, there were 2 singles. One of the singles was by Manny. So hits tonight from guys not named Manny Machado. They only had 1 of them. That was from Tatis, another single. And again, the last 14 batters in a row retired, 15 straight outs recorded to end the game. So not a good offensive night from the Padres, and that was the reason to me they lost this ball game. Not on Griffin Canning or the bullpen tonight, but sort of squarely on the offense, not productive enough to win this series finale. With all that in mind, let's go downstairs and hear from Craig Stammen.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres skipper Craig Stammen. Served up by Sinley Food. If you've had better chicken, you must be a rooster.
Craig, this offense has done some good things lately. How do you explain kind of what happened tonight, specifically in the last few innings?
I think Merrill Kelly got us again. He's kind of just had his way with us ever since, he's got to Arizona. From what I remember, I think very few times have we gotten him back, and tonight was, again, one of those nights.
What did you think of Canning?
I thought he did pretty good. No walks, 5 strikeouts. Started to give up a few hits there at the end. Really, and all of the runs that they got tonight came with 2 outs. And so, you talk about, whoever does best with 2 outs is usually who comes out on top in the game. And, we gave up 3 runs with 2 outs tonight.
They turned the lineup back over there. Did you think of going to Matsui earlier there, or was Canning, you mentioned he was pitching pretty well?
Yeah, we got the 2 pinch hitters at the top, or the 2 switch hitters, sorry, not pinch hitters, switch hitters at the top. We feel rather have a right-handed pitcher on him. Canyon was throwing the ball well enough that I felt like, he had the opportunity to get through 5 innings and qualify himself for a win there. And, ground ball up the middle kind of ended his night, but he pitched excellent.
How about Manny tonight? Showed he's healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Home run to right field. That's peak Manny right there when he's going oppo and hitting homers. And, against Merrill Kelly, who hasn't had a ton of success against, homer to right, bullet to left. Good night for Manny at the plate.
It's still a lot of baseball left, but this, win 1, lose 1, win 2, it's kind of spin your wheels. Like, how can you guys get on a roll? Kind of what you need to do to erase that 8-game losing streak.
Yeah. We believe that at any point we could go on an 8-game winning streak, and we do that, and we're right back in the hunt, and we're right where we need to be. We have less games to do that than we did coming into this homestand, but I'm going to believe, and I'm going to, push these guys, and these guys are going to push each other. We had a lot of conversations this week about it. And you can't make a winning streak happen. All you can do is put in the work every day, show up every day with the right focus, discipline, and attitude, and then hope the chips fall where they go in the right way. And we need some breaks to go our way, and right now, like a game like tonight, we didn't hit the ball very well, and that's not going to help us, go on a sustained run. We've got to have consistent, days and weeks of hitting the ball the way we're capable of, like last night, and play games like that on a consistent basis.
Craig, how frustrating is it even to have a 10-run outing yesterday? It feels like the offense is clicking in one run, and the shutouts that have kind of been sprinkled in so far with just inconsistent run production.
Yeah, I would say if we scored 9 and lost 10-9, it would be frustrating. So I think losing is frustrating. Doesn't matter how we get it done. We got to figure out a way to win. And I think eventually, I believe in this team. I believe that we're going to, have some consistent offense like you're talking about. But in the end, offense is the most inconsistent thing in baseball. The only consistent thing that we can have is, typically your defense and your pitching. And then the other part of that is your attitude and your effort. And so if we're consistent in those things, I believe, we got a good future ahead.
Do you find it unique, Manny, batting less than 200 but having 19 home runs?
Yeah, it's definitely unique, I guess. Typically when he's hitting home runs, he's got a high average too. That's what we've seen from him in the past. He's still getting his power. He's still walking at a pretty good rate. We're just waiting for that average to tick up, and it looks, over the course of the last couple weeks, month, it's trending upward.
That was Padres manager Craig Stammen following this 3-1 loss to the Diamondbacks on this Thursday as the Padres and D-backs split this 4-game series. Sam Levitt back with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park. Our postgame coverage brought to you by Jamul Casino Resort. The Players Place, it is interesting about Manny's average. He ends tonight hitting 193, which is obviously not where you'd want it to be, or certainly he would want it to be. But it has ticked up. I mean, that is true. If you go back about a month, he was hitting 166 on June 8th, and he's up to 193. So he's about 30 points up. Again, he's only hitting 193. It's been such a weird year for his stat line because he's trending and pacing for 30 home runs, and the RBIs maybe a little bit down, but I don't know that he's going to end up, as long as he stays healthy, with that many less RBIs than what he usually has. He ends today at 52. He's somebody who's kind of, lives between 90 and 100 most years. Is he going to get to 90? Maybe. He's got a little work to do with that. But, could he end up with 80-something? And if he gets really hot, end up with 90-something? Sure. And then it's going to be a weird stat year because, unless he gets so scorching hot, the average is, it's just going to be low. It's going to be a lot lower than it's ever been in his career. But the home runs are probably going to end up being right where they usually are. And the RBIs, it might end up being pretty darn close as well. So just an interesting note on Manny's year. Look, the big picture thing with the Padres, I think, is this. And you heard some questions there that dealt with essentially the idea that the Padres are going to have to go on a run, and there's no way around that. They have played themselves into that situation. Consider this. This was a team that was at one point 11 games over 500. They are now 17-29. They are 12 games under in the last 46 games. Okay, I zoom out that far. 17-29. In the last 46 games. And the reason I bring it up is twofold. Number one, to point out that unfortunately, they sort of erased the really good start they got off to. That's the reality. They got off to a great start this year. Strung together a bunch of wins in April and in early to mid-May. And since late May, again, they're 17-29, 12 games under in a nearly 50-game span. So they've sort of erased that start, number one. And because of that, because they now sit a game under 500, 93 games in, said this earlier, the Padres will end the night 5.5 games out of a National League wildcard spot. So the point is, playing 500 baseball the rest of this season. And let me be clear, there's a lot of baseball left to play. There's a ton of baseball left. It's July 9th. We've got most of this month, all of August, all of September. There's a ton of baseball left. And there is a ton of time to go on a run. But make no mistake about it, the Padres are going to have to go on a run. Winning one, losing one, splitting series, it's not going to get it done. Just not. That's reality of where they are. They're 5.5 out with a lot of teams between them and a wild card spot. So I'm not saying it can't happen. I hope it does. But make no mistake, they're going to need to get hot. They're going to need to go on a run. So you can't have series like this very often, quite frankly, against other teams that are hovering around or under 500. I mean, it's going to be very important that they win series like this. Splitting, winning couple here, winning couple there, hovering around 500 for a month. They're going to need more than that because of the situation they're now in, 5.5 games out. It's just reality about the standings here in early to mid-July. So, how they do that, how they go on a run, to me, that's going to be the key to this month and the key to the rest of their season. How they gain momentum, because that's what they're going to need now. They're going to need some momentum and to get at least a little hot for an extended stretch. So, again, it can totally happen. But, I think a night like this maybe magnifies that idea a little bit, because a game like this, and there's no guaranteed wins in baseball. You know that. I know that. But you had a game here tonight where you were coming off a great offensive game. You had an opportunity to win a series against the Diamondback team that quite honestly, I don't think's great. I mean, they've had a lot of injuries too. I don't think they're great. Feels like a team you can win a series against. He had an opportunity against the guy in Merrill Kelly, who they've seen a lot. And by the way, he's pitched against them a long time, and we said the numbers before the game. You go back to 2022 or so, they've handled Kelly pretty well. He's had good starts in there too, but they've handled him pretty well for the most part. But tonight's game felt like, okay, yeah, you give up 3. In this kind of game, you should be able to score 4 and go win a series and gain a little momentum. All of a sudden, you have won 4 out of 5. You've got a Blue Jays team that's under 500 coming in. Again, tonight was not make or break by any means. However, if you want to look big picture, again, you're 5.5 out. You've got ground to make up. So you're going to have to win series. And a game like this is kind of like a prime example of it's felt like a game you had a real chance to win if the offense produced more. So hopefully offense can get back on track tomorrow. We shall see as the Blue Jays come to town. When we come back, we'll get into our daily awards. We'll have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard coming up a little bit later as well. Final score here tonight, D-backs 3, Padres 1. Our post-game coverage continues after these words. Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park. Final score here tonight, Diamondbacks 3 and the Padres 1. As always, our postgame coverage brought to you by Jamul Casino Resort. Hey player, the rooftop pool's open. Day passes are available and the spa is calling your name. Jamul Casino Resort. The players play. I saw that rooftop pool. Sounds good right now, really does, with the All-Star break coming. Sounds good. Might have to get to that rooftop pool at Jamul Casino Resort over the All-Star break. Anyway, 3 more games before the break. Padres playing the Blue Jays. We'll talk more about that series coming up in just a little bit. Padres fall 3-1 to the Diamondbacks today. Padres have split the first 4 games of this homestand against the Arizona Diamondbacks. They lost on Monday, 8-0, quiet offensive day. Then they had a much better offensive showing on Tuesday, especially last night. Here today, just 1 run on 3 hits, and they fall 3-1. Let's tell you about tonight's relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher entered the game and slammed the door shut? This is today's relief pitcher of the game, brought to you by San Diego criminal defense attorney David P. Shapiro. We help good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. Learn more at davidpshapirolaw.com.
Relief pitcher of the game here tonight. You got some options on the Padres side of things. How about Bradley Rodriguez, who came in the 6th inning, ended up getting 4 outs in this game, inning in the 3rd, scoreless, kept it right at where it was, 3-1 game, did a great job. Wandy Peralta, 2.28 ERA on the year now, scoreless inning as well in the 8th inning. Morejon, a scoreless 9th inning. So all in all, pretty good night for the Padres bullpen. Only blemish on the pen was Matsui giving up the solo home run to Arenado. That was it. But aside from that, it was 4 1/3 innings from the pen tonight. 1 hit given up. The 1 hit was the home run for Nolan Arenado. So good night for the pen. Again, pitching was not the problem in this game at all. I mean, Canning didn't give you length. He threw 74 pitches in 4 2/3, but we know he hasn't exactly been a guy that's going to give you a ton of length, but he got through it tonight. Wasn't perfect. Gave up 7 hits. Didn't walk anybody. That was good. But just 4 2/3 innings. But the reality is this: Padres gave up 3 runs. Again, I'm going to say it over and over tonight. And this was on the offense tonight again. And I put it this way a handful of times already, so I'm sorry if you heard it. But if you would have asked me before the game with Merrill Kelly on the mound, the way his season's been going and what we saw from the Padres offense last night, and if you told me the Padres would have given up 3 tonight, I would say they've got a pretty good chance to win the game. And offensively just did not get anything going. And the pitching was fine tonight, really was, including some good work by the bullpen. Bradley Rodriguez, inning in a 3rd scoreless, our relief pitcher of the game. Let's tell you about tonight's heart of the order.
Let's take the pulse of the Padres and check in on the heart of the order. Presented by Palomar Health Medical Group.
Part of the order here tonight: Bogarts, Machado, Sheets, Bogey 0 for 4 in this game. Manny had 2 hits, including the home run, his 19th of the season. Gavin Sheets 0 for 2 with a walk, so a combined 2 for 9 between Bogarts, Machado, and Sheets. The 3-4-5 spots. A look at what the Padres' heart of the order did in this one. When we come back, full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. If you want to get a phone call in, 833-288-0973. Phone number to call, 833-288-0973. Phone number if you want to dial in, chime in about this game or this series. We'll get you ready for the series coming up starting tomorrow against the Toronto Blue Jays. Preview the pitching matchups coming up as well. Final score here tonight, though: Padres fall 3-1 to the D-backs on the Padres Radio Network.
red scooter searching for his groove.
Back here at Petco Park, final score here tonight, Diamondbacks 3 and the Padres 1. Sam Levitt with you inside the Western Metal Building here at Petco Park. Another great crowd here tonight, more than 39,000 in the building. Unfortunately, not treated to a Padres win as the Padres fall 3-1 in the final game of this series. Padres and D-backs split the 4 games of this series to begin a 7-game homestand. Padres now welcome in the team from up north, the Toronto Blue Jays, who went to the World Series a year ago, and they're not having a very good year. We'll get more into it tomorrow, but they come in under 500, and they did win on Wednesday in San Francisco. They had an off day today. From what I understand, they were here today, so I guess they enjoyed an off day in San Diego today. But they will be here tomorrow for the start of a 3-game series. We'll preview the pitching matchups in that series coming up in just a little bit. Let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
Everything has gone final in the major leagues today. The Mets beat the Royals 7-3 in New York. Juan Soto, a home run in that game for the Mets. The Braves beat the Pirates 10-5 in Pittsburgh. Mike Yastrzemski, a grand slam in that game for Atlanta. Yankees beat up on the Rays 12-4 in Tampa Bay. Ben Rice, 2 home runs in that game for New York. Ben Rice, who's having a remarkable season and has become quite the story for the Yankees. He will participate in the Home Run Derby in Philadelphia on Monday. The Orioles beat the Cubs 3-2 in Baltimore, a big 2-run 8th inning in that game for the Orioles as they take a lead and win it. Guardians beat the Twins 5-2 in Minnesota. Really nice start by Gavin Williams in that one. He struck out 11, picked up the win. Red Sox beat the White Sox 2-1 in Chicago. Tigers beat the A's 4-1 in Detroit. Framber Valdez, nice outing there, picks up his 5th win of the season. Marlins beat the Mariners. Man, oh man, the Marlins are playing well. They won it 8-4 in Miami. Marlins are 52-42, 10 games above 500. Phillies lead, or I should say, beat the Reds 1-0 in Cincinnati. The Phillies, 1 run in that game came on a Justin Crawford RBI single. Really nice outing in that game for Philly lefty Jesus Luzardo. He went 7 shutout innings. The Brewers beat the Cardinals 8-4 in St. Louis. Jake Bauers, home run in that game for Milwaukee. The Rangers beat the Angels 7-6. In Arlington, Giants beat the Rockies 8-2. In San Francisco, Willie Adames, a home run in that game for the Giants. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Thursday. Well, let's, we talked about the standings a little bit earlier, the NL wildcard standings, and we told you Padres 5.5 back, Arizona also 5.5 back to end this series. Here's how they look, the overall picture, just so you know. The Cubs sit in the first wildcard spot. They're a half game up on both the Phillies and Marlins, who currently occupy the final 2 spots. The Marlins and Phillies have a 3-game lead on the Cardinals, and then a 4-game lead on the Nats, a 5-game lead on the Pirates, and a 5.5-game lead on the D-backs and Padres. And then you got the Reds, who are 9 out after Arizona and San Diego. So, like I said, and I'm not trying to alarm you, I'm not trying to tell you the season's over. It's not what I'm saying at all, but the Padres have work to do. Make no mistake about it. They have put themselves in a position based on what's been going on the last really 40, 50 games. Like we talked about earlier with the record, what did I say? They're 17-29 in their last 46 going back to May 19th. They got work to do. They do. And it's going to take getting a little hot. It's going to take getting on a run. It is. 500 baseball ain't going to cut it. I don't think. I mean, you would need teams ahead of you to play really poorly, and like all of them to play really poorly. 500 baseball is not going to do it the rest of the way. They're going to have to get hot and get on a run. I think that goes without saying at this point. Fully possible, fully capable, but that's the position they're in right now. They have I won't call it a mountain, but they've got a hill They got a hill to climb here in the final series before the break and coming out of the All-Star break. So a lot of baseball left to play, but the Padres are going to have to get on a run here and get hot, start winning some games with regularity. We'll see if they can begin to do that when they take on the Blue Jays starting tomorrow. Before we get to tomorrow and the series coming up, let's quickly hear tonight's play of the game.
One bounce, one hit, one pitch can be the difference between victory and defeat. What was the most important play in today's game? This is today's play of the game. Presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating and Air, Restoration and Flood. We know how.
1-2, the pitch. Arenado swings, hits it in the air, deep to left center field. Sheets going back. He will turn to watch. This one gonna go. Arenado at it again. His second home run of this series. A 2-out solo shot in the 6th inning, and the Diamondbacks have added on. It's 3-1.
That was tonight's play of the game, unfortunately. The Nolan Arenado home run against Yuki Matsui in the 6th inning gave the D-backs little insurance, a 3-1 lead, and they go on to win by that final score. So unfortunately, that was our play of the game in this series finale. All right, taking a look ahead to tomorrow in the upcoming series against the Toronto Blue Jays. Here are the pitching matchups Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, right-hander Shane Bieber on the mound for the Blue Jays, and left-hander J.P. Sears on the mound for the Padres. It'll be right-hander Trey Savage. Remember him from the postseason World Series last year? Right-hander Walker Buehler on the mound for the Padres on Saturday. Sunday, right-hander Kevin Gossman on the mound against right-hander German Marquez. So a look at the pitching matchups in this series. Tomorrow's game, 6:40 p.m. first pitch. Our pregame coverage will begin at 5:40 from right here at Petco Park. As always, if you missed any portion of our post-game coverage, you can go back and listen to all of it on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast, available on the free Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts. You can also go back on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube channel and watch any portion of our post-game coverage there as well. A look at the totals here tonight for the D-backs. 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors. They left on 6. For the Padres, 1 run, 3 hits, no errors. They left on 2. Winning pitcher tonight was Merrill Kelly. He improves to 7-8. Losing pitcher Griffin Canning. He drops to 1-7. Save goes to Paul Sewald, his 21st of this season. Time of game, 2 hours, 34 minutes in the crowd at Petco Park on this Thursday, 39,270. Once again, first pitch tomorrow at 6:40 p.m. Our pregame coverage begins at 5:40. Until then, for our great studio coordinator, Nick Tanucci, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long and good night from Petco Park. Again, the final score here tonight, the Arizona Diamondbacks 3 and the San Diego Padres 1. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the Padres Radio Network. Have a great rest of your night, everybody.